Hello and welcome back to Warzone, and today I'm in the T-55A, and the reason why I want to present you this tank is because you have, well, two different gameplay experiences and nothing in between. The first one is like this one that I'm showing you, which is being top tier, and you are a really good 8.7 tank. You are not overpowered, you can be defeated, especially if you play like a numbnut. You can get killed, and sometimes very easily if you face the wrong opponent. However, you have a huge variety of very good tools in your disposal, and well, if you cannot use that, then you are a hopeless case of being at the wrong battle rating. Let's put it that way. Those are some harsh words, but let me explain to you. And the first thing is, you have armor like a T-55, not the 47 variant though, but you're still pretty good, and you can at least resist some SPA at this battle rating and so forth. That's everything that you can expect. You have also a stabilizer and a 100mm gun variant. So I took out the loader on the Leopard and also, I guess, tracked him or killed the driver, and with impunity I can reload an APHE shell because he cannot beat my reload, and I finish him off with the second shot quite comfortably. So this is me being top tier, and you know, you have a stabilizer, you have armor, you have decent mobility, although not the very best one in class. That I think goes to the Leopard A1A1. And you see, the funny thing is, the Leopard A1A1 got recently an APFSDS shell, and everybody is losing its mind about this tank now being overpowered. Yeah, but you know, there's also a big stock grind behind this. With the more or less useless heat shell, when you constantly get up-tiered and so forth. And this is the second experience that this tank shares with the Leopard A1A1 at top tier. Although the Leopard A1A1 has better mobility, which can serve him well to get at least into an ambush position earlier than the T-55A, which is just simply slower. But it's not that much slower. So I heard an engine there, and I thought somebody is in this building, and I looked carefully around. If somebody would land a proper ambush, I would be already dead, I guess, or if somebody would know that I'm there and so forth. So I carefully look around. Oh, there are some cable drums. Oh, look at this, somebody led an ambush, sadly at the wrong side of the building, and one APHE shell into the side of the turret. That's all that it's needed. So again, it's very satisfying. But let's talk about the stock grind for this tank in a nutshell. We have the 3B M8, which is an APDS shell that basically, you know, acts like the L7 gun and its variants. APDS shell. We have 299mm of penetration, a good muzzle velocity of 1415 meters per second. As a tier 1 upgrade, we actually get the BR412D, so we actually get back our APHE shell that I once missed on the T62 when I made the tank review. You might remember I missed I missed APHE because back then the tank had the wrong enemies. So yeah, we also get, you know, a 240mm penetrating APHE round, and you could see it's very effective against tanks with not that much armor. As a tier 2 upgrade, we already get the 3BM25 APFSDS round with 335mm of penetration. More on this in a moment. And if you're really hardcore trying, as a tier 3 consecutive upgrade, we get the 3BK17M Heat FS shell with 390mm of penetration. So the APFSDS, you cannot hope to penetrate, I guess, an Abrams through the turret front. But then again, the M1 Abrams is the only tank that you really struggle to deal with. All other tanks are more or less paper, and you can one-shot most of them even with the APHE shell. And it's really a shame that people don't drive the Challenger. I'd love to kill Challengers on and on through the lower glaciers. It would give me a really good laugh, but nobody is driving the Challenger. So it would have made for good footage, but sadly nobody's driving the Challenger. And I looked to the minimap, I saw the bomb incoming, and it splashed the building where the Leopard hit in a good position, and before he could get out, I, well, took him down with 2 shots. And so we are going to recapture this point. And yeah, the second experience that you have with this tank after the first one, which is, you know, ruffle stomping the enemy team when being top tier, is the bottom tier experience. And despite the Challenger having now a new battle rating of 9.7, it's a purely cosmetic change, because it mostly still faces the very same tanks as before. It still can face the AMX-30B2 BRENUS, which is even a weak tank in comparison to the T-55A, because it doesn't have a stabilizer. That's not saying that it's a bad tank, it just doesn't fit the meta, where stabilizer is king. And, you know, also trollish survivability and whatnot. So a B got decaptured and the Leopard got killed, but that Leopard already didn't capture a B, so he was outside of the zone. So I suspect another tank being there somewhere. And just look at the following scene, because this is my experience that I have so often in Soviet tanks. Very often then the battle itself is not worth showing, but in this one it was. Leopard A1A1 puts a dart right through the entirety of my tank, through the fuel tank, where there is also ammunition within the fuel tank, the engine, and also the transmission. Everything is black, everything is kaput or damaged. Just 25 seconds of repair time, and we have a Simpsons episode in the tank because every crew member is nothing but yellow. Yeah, the tank is in 5 seconds completely operational again. We even didn't lose ammunition. And here we go. So, A just got captured by the enemy, and B gets recaptured. So before I can go into B, before I get any sort of bonuses in terms of civil lines and so forth, I already have enough spawn points to spawn in a plane or whatnot. I move on. My goal is now A, and I'm going between the enemy's, well, front line, you know, this imaginary line across half of the map, and, you know, their spawn zone, and actually the objective. And I think that is also a big change compared to top tier. At top tier, the M1 Abrams are just rushing in. You have no fun engaging an Abrams. They are so much faster than you. They have so much better gun handling. They have such a quicker reload, and they just destroy you. And you have to aim so carefully to deal damage to them. They have just a very small hitting area compared to other tanks, and very often you just disable their gun breach if you just happen to have the AP FSDS loaded. If you would one-shot them from the front with an APHE, yes, it's possible, but it's just remarkably difficult where for you are just paper to them, and they just penetrate you everywhere and deal massive damage to you. And so we have this two-sided coin that is the T-55A. We have this fantastic experience when being top tier. We have a weird stock grind with the APDS being stock shell, but you also can research on APHE and also APFSDS, which is, I'd say, the perfect combination in game for the new meta, and you're just so good at this battle rating when you're top tier. But when you are fighting the M1 Abrams, which you face half of the games, you already know that you're going to die within the first minute or so, and that rewards just extremely campy playstyle. It rewards staying in the back, laying an ambush, and not going for the objective, because at top tier, if you go for the objective, you are the idiot. You're wasting kills, you're wasting positioning, you're wasting time for a tiny little bit of income compared to what the promised 5, 6, 9, 10 kill games are, you know, rushing through the enemy lines. The only thing that can stop an M1 Abrams or a horde of M1 Abrams is a horde of equally armored, quick firing tanks, but there is no equivalent. And so we have also this fake matchmaker, like when you are, you know, facing a complete enemy team consisting of Yak 23s in your 7.0 jets or even 6.7 props. That's not fun either. And so we have this remarkable discrepancy in the game, and it's just a big sign of a fake matchmaker, a matchmaker that doesn't work at all, that has collapsed to the insane spam of a vehicle, not necessarily just the M1 Abrams. And at top tier, you're just such a inadequate tank, such a hopeless performer. So we got 6 kills, we got 3 capture zones, we got 63,000 silver lions and nearly 5,000 research points. We got the survivor medal, we got 2,204 score points as being the first in team, and I think that was a pretty nice result. So this tank was requested. That's my point of view from a very good 8.7 tank that already struggles in a slight up tier, just showing off the compression and so forth. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. A bit lower tier this time, and I will drive the AMX-30B2 BRENUS now today after this video is done. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the video, so don't forget to give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other in the skies and on the battlefields of War Thunder.